Hey, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sagar Prajapati and this video will be talking about what is a feature of MACK library in Delta Lake or in Delta table. Okay, so if you haven't watched my previous videos about a Delta table or Delta Lake, please go watch these videos and then watch this today's video. Okay, so there is a library called MACK. Okay, you have to install it with the help of pip install command, and since you can see that I have already installed it, so if I just click on this, then you can see it is installing my library. Okay, so it is installing, and then what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create one delta table. Okay, or we can say I stored one data frame or one data set into the delta location, which is this. So if I try to run this also, then you can see we have the data present in this location. Now if you want to know about any library, then what you can do is that you can simply write this command help, and inside this you have to pass the module name. Okay, so since I have wrote here, and if you can see this module have some x to y numbers of modules, right? So if you can see, we have append without duplicates, we have constant appends, we have copy table method or function, then we have delta file size, and so on. So today we will be seeing only these set of modules, or we can say functions, and we will understand what is happening and how we can utilize or how we can use of this function in our Delta Lake. Okay, so chalo, first we will see what is append without duplicate. So as a name suggests, you can understand also it is appending the data into a data frame, existing data frame, without any duplicates. So if I just copy this function, and if I go back to my Databricks notebook, and what I'll do, first I have to load this data into a delta object, right? So what I can do, I have to write here from delta import delta table. Okay, and try to run this. Cool. Now I'll just create a delta table, and I write here spark dot for path, and here I will pass the location from which location I am I am taking the data. So this is the location. I just run this. See, okay, it is showing some error. Okay, so since this is this is delta table, so I have to write here delta table, and then here I have to pass the spark. Okay, and now if I run this, then you can see that it created the delta table object. Cool. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use this this method. So I'll just write here MACK dot this function, and the first parameter. So if you want to see the definition of this not definition, I mean the structure of this method, then what you can do, if you go to this help MACK, then you can see this function is written over here. Now it is taking these many parameters, and it is returning none. Okay, now you can see first parameter would be delta table, second parameter would be the data frame which is going to be appended, and third parameter is the primary key. So since I have the data in the Delta Lake like this 1 Sagar and 2 Alex. Now I'm just gonna create a new data frame which is gonna be appended. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this, and instead of df, I'll just write here df appended. Cool. Df append, and then I will also keep this like 3 comma and 3 comma. I will add one more name, let's say John. Okay, and I'll just run this. Now you can see that we have a new data frame called df underscore append, which is having three values, and in the existing data we have 1 and 2, like 2 rows we have. Now you can see if we want to append the data without the duplicates, then the value should be, or the data, or we can say the data frame would be 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, 3 John, right? The data would be like this. We should not have the duplicates in our main data frame, or we can say the final data frame, correct? So how we can do? See, simply write here delta table comma and here I will write df underscore append, and then here I need to pass the primary key. So you can see the primary key, the primary key of this data frame or my data set would be id column. Okay, so if I write here id, you can we can pass it in a list, and if I write this, then you can see okay, it is running, it is showing something MACK is not defined. MACK is not defined. Why it is happened? I installed it, right? Okay, let me just write here import. It is by default present, but I'm not sure why it is happening. Now you can see it is done, right? Now if I just display you df underscore append data, then you can see you have the same data, like not the same data, the data without duplicates, like 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, 3 John, right? And likewise, if I twist the data a little bit, let's say I am adding here, not adding here, yeah, it's cool. Like now, instead of this id column, if I change to name, and here if I write the same name like Alex, right? See, 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, and 3 is also Alex, but now I am saying my primary column is name instead of id. Okay, then we will see what will happen. So if I run this, I have to run this first. Okay, let me run this first, and then let me run this, and again if I run this display df underscore append, then you can see here we have this 3 Alex, 2 Alex. Okay, so these things are getting repeated, correct? These things are getting repeated. So if I go back to my function, then you can see it return none, right? Okay, so if I just try to run this, what I'll do, I'll just write with the help of select statement this, and instead of, I'll just write here delta, right? Now you can see in my final delta table, we have the data, okay, but without any duplicates. The data is appended without any duplicates. Cool. So if you want to see the data, so what we can do, see, again I'll just I'll again run this code, and if I go to here and if I just run this, then you can see we will have only 2 rows as of now, right? And now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna run this, not gonna run this, first run this, and then I'm gonna run this command. Since you can see we have like 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, and 1 2 Alex, and this should not come. Let's see whether it is happening over here or not. Then you can see the data appended without any duplicates. Cool. Now we will come to the second module or function, that is copy underscore table. Okay, this is kind of pretty straight thing. So here, if you want to copy the data from from this location to another location or to another table, then we can achieve it. What needs to be right? So cancel it, it is not needed, and I'll just write here MACK dot copy underscore table, and here I'll pass delta table. Cool. And here I have to pass the location. So let's say I am passing this, not this, like I'm gonna change this a bit, let's say _2, and then I am passing here the name of the table. So let's say the name will also be the same, student _2, and just run this. Now after running this table, if I just do a select star from this table name, then you can see the data has been copied to this table. Okay, and even though if I just do a describe extended, then also you can see all the things, like the database, and then the table name, type, location, delta, and the table properties and other stuff. You can get it. If the table is partitioned, or the delta lake is partitioned, then you can also expect the same thing over here. Cool. So this is also done. Just cancel it, and then we'll move to the third. So it is straightforward delta file size. Okay, so to identify the size of the file size, so I'll just go here and write the MACK and call this function, and here we need to just pass the delta table. So it returns a dictionary, and you can see the size in bytes is 1625, number of files is 2, and average file size in bytes is 812. Cool. Then we have drop duplicates. So what does it mean is that it simply deletes the duplicates values. Okay, the duplicates value. So if I go to the definition or the body, the definition of this, so drop duplicates, yeah, this is right. So it takes first parameter delta table, and then second parameter would be the column name, duplicate column. So let's say I'm saying that the duplicate columns would be like name is a duplicate column. Okay, and let me twist the data little bit. Let's say I'm writing here 3, and again Alex. Okay, and one more thing, let's say I'm writing here 4 Sagar, not Sagar. I'm just writing here 4 Sagar, and here also I'll write 1 Sagar. Run this. Cool. So we have this data, you can understand easily, and if I just try to display you to understand properly, then you can see 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, 3 Alex, and so on. Okay, now you can see we have, if I sort it with the ID column, then you can see this is the duplicated values, right? Oh, sorry, let me just make it small. Cool. Run it again, and if I just run it again, this display method, then you can see we have this data, right? And then you can see if I take this ID as a primary key, then you can see like this is getting repeated, right? This is getting repeated, and if I take the name as a primary key, then this Sagar is getting repeated, as well as this Alex also is getting repeated. And if I take the combination of both ID and name, then this rows is getting repeated. Cool. And yeah, this row only is getting repeated. So we'll see. So if I just type it here, let's say I'm just writing here ID as of now, and if I run this, okay, and what I do, I just write here SQL select star from delta comma, and then I'll just pass here my location. Cool. Let's see. Now you can see I passed here ID, right? So the ID column which is getting repeated, it got deleted, correct? So I'll just run it again. Where it gone? I just run it again, and now I will pass here name instead of ID. Cool. So instead of ID, if I pass name, right, then you can see the data would be like quite different. You can see 2 Alex, 4 Sagar. Okay, and then 1 Sagar. Then you can see here, see 2 4 Alex Sagar is coming, right? It is coming now. Why? Because name. If you can see, this is getting repeated, right? And this is also getting repeated. That's why we only got 2 rows. Now what I'll do, I'll just run this, and if I go down, and see, we can also pass multiple columns. Like I'll pass here ID, this ID and name, and if I just try to run the like if I try to see the data again, then you can see that we have this 1 Sagar, 4 Sagar. If I sorted this, then we all have a right, we do not have any duplicate, only one duplicate we had it, that is 1 Sagar. If you can see over here, this is getting repeated, right? So it got deleted because the combination having only this is duplicate, saying this is only duplicate, right? Okay, now we'll go further. Now we will see drop duplicates with primary key. Okay, so there is a third parameter that is with primary key. So what I'll do, just copy this, not copy this, just copy, put here, right here, and MACK dot this, and then delta table, then just cancel it. Okay, and cancel this, and you can see if I go here, drop duplicates primary key, then you can see first parameter would be your delta table, second is the primary key, and third one are duplication columns. So let's say, I want to delete only the duplicates columns. I do not want to delete the IDs. Okay, like I would not want to delete the primary key, so you can use this method. So let's say I'm passing here ID. Okay, primary key, I am saying that this ID is my primary key, and I want to delete this, I want to delete this name columns, like if duplicate comes. So what you can do, run it again. Now you can see this ID1 here. Okay, let me delete this row, then you will understand better. LX, right? Now see, what I'm saying to you is that here ID is a primary key. Okay, and I'm saying that name, I'm saying that delete the values from the names and not the name, like check this name column wherever the duplicate present. So you can see this LX is a duplicate column, right? So I need to delete this 2 and 3rd row. So my output, not 2 and 3rd row, Sagar is also getting repeated, right? So if I just come down and try to run this code, then let's see what will happen. You can see we have, after doing this, we have 1 Sagar and 2 Alex. So what it does is that it deletes the duplicates things. 1 Sagar, 2 Alex is returned. Now you can see the raw data is like 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, okay, and 3 Alex and 4 Sagar. So they deleted all these things. So instead of Sagar, if I write here some name, another name John, and if I try to run this, and if I do display again, then you can see the output would be 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, 4 John. Go down, run this again, and do this. 1 Sagar, 2 Alex, 4 John. Cool. Now let's go back, and there is another function called find composite key candidates. So what does it mean? It will tell you the composite key based on your columns. Okay, based on your columns. So let's go back here, and if I just write MACK dot this function, and I'll pass, the first parameter would be always your delta table, and second would be, I guess, primary key. Let's understand it here. Find composite key candidate, then the first would be a data frame df. Okay, exclude columns, we can exclude columns over here. Okay, so if I just go back here, and if I try to run this, it is showing that not enough values to unpack. So here we have to pass something, ID. No composite key candidate could be identified. Now if I write here name, then also you can see the same has returned. So what I'll do, I'll just write the data again here. Okay, and try to run this. Now you can see it is showing the same, because we do not have the right data as of now. Find composite key candidates. Okay, so I believe like in this function there is some issue, because actually it takes only first one parameter. You know, the compulsory parameter would be first, and second can be optional. Okay, but I'm not sure why it is happening over here. So like, you know, if I pass here ID, then you can see it is returning ID column. Even though if I pass here name, then you know, it is returning same ID column, because this ID column only specify or telling you that this, I mean, with the help of this ID column, this data frame is kind of unique. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll also put it one column, let's say age 34, not 20, let make it 24, and here also I'll make it like 21. Cool, 34, and instead of this I'll just write here age integer and run it. Maybe it will say okay, I'll just have to remove it, or we can also merge the schema or override the schema. That is another option, but I want to delete this, so I'll just write dbutils.fs.rm to remove the location. Cool. Ting ting ting, just run it and cancel it again. Now you can see, if I just tell you the data frame, then it is same. Like now you can see the combination of ID, and age, not age is not, age is not right, age is not. So I have to pass some another value, let's say 45. So just write here 45, and then if you see the data, then column like ID and age is specifying this data frame unique, like ID and age ka combination will be unique, right? But if I include name also, then no, correct? So that's why what I have to do, I also have to first create the delta table also, right? Then only I can perform. So I'll just go above like this. $134. Sorry, I did mistake. Sorry guys, I did some mistake. So instead of this, I had to actually change this. So I'll just, if I run this, sometimes, you know, our mind doesn't work properly. I'm not sure why. So if I run it now, again it is showing the same thing. What is happening, dude? Now this combination would be would be same. I'm not sure what is happening. Maybe we can check this function later on. Okay, so as of now we will skip to this. Now then we have humanize bytes. Okay, it's like kind of simple thing. Yeah, just call this function. Okay, let me just remove this. Maybe it will work. No, it will not work. I'm sure, definitely it is showing something else. I'm not sure what is happening actually. Maybe this build is not correct. Okay, leave it. So I'll just write here a MACK dot this function, and I'll pass here delta table. Not supported between instant delta table and float. See, like something is wrong happening. So see, if I go above, then you can see this human. Okay, this is the function, and it is passing str, like str integer. It is passing integer. And okay, sorry, my bad. So if you want to see the data, like if I pass here 34, then it will return in bytes 34 bytes. Okay, if I just write here 1120, then it is like 1.12 KB. I just write 3 more zeros, then it is 112 KB. If I write like this, then it is a kind of MB, maybe, yeah, 112 MB, and so on. If I add more 2 zeros, then it is 11 GB. Okay, and then it is also the same thing, human bytes in binary. Okay, and then is composite key candidate. So I'll just show you about this function. So this is the important function. So if I just write here MACK dot this, and here will pass delta table, and this function is used to identify whether the given columns here show the composite or show the uniqueness of the table or not. So if I just write here ID, then it will return me false. I believe it is also sorry, ID is true, right? ID is true. Then if I also add here name, then it will return me false. I believe it is also true. And if I add here age, then it will return me true. Is composite key candidate. Okay, and if I run this, okay, run the data frame, and again if I run this, and if I run this again, then you can see ID, name, age. See, all these columns shows you the uniqueness. Okay, if I just remove everything and if I pass here name, then it returns in false, because see, in name we have duplicates values. It is not a unique. And if I passing the combination of all these, so it is unique, like 1 Saga 34 is unique, 2 Alex 23 is unique, and so on. Okay, I hope you have understood this concept also. Now we'll see have kill duplicates. It is kind of same thing. Okay, go above. See, we do not need to muck up the definitions, or we just know whether this function exists and we can use it. Now it is kind of same thing, only we have to pass here delta table, and then the second option would be, the parameter would be duplication columns. Now go to here, just write MACK dot call this function with delta table, comma, then you have to pass here the columns name. So I'll just pass here name, delta table. Cool. Now just go to here, run this. Now you can see it deleted the name column data, and it returns only the unique values like 1 Saga 34, 4 John 21. Cool. So you can also go and read the documentation to get the better understanding. Then we have this latest version, so it always return you the latest version of your delta table, right? So we can pass, not here actually, we should write it down somewhere here. So if I just call this function delta table, maybe it will give 784. okay, cool. So this is, if you know the delta table works on the versioning, right? We can go back and check the versions, what has had happened before. So it always return the latest version number. Then what else we have? We have show delta file sizes. Okay, if I call this MACK dot this and delta table, run this, you can see the delta table contains two files with a size of 2.07 KB. The average file size is 1.03 KB. Okay. Then what else we have? We have with MD5 column. So what does it mean? It creates what we can say, it add a hash key, or it creates the identifier, not identifier. It creates one column having the MD5 values, appended with MD5 values. So how we can do? It's very straightforward thing. Call this MACK this delta table, comma, and we have to pass here names, like I can pass ID. If you want to add some numbers in, not add, like concat some numbers or generate a uniqueness of the IDs, then we can use this and then run this. Cool. Now you can see it also generated another new column, right? Now what I'll do, copy this, paste it over here so that we will understand better. Where it gone? Here, right? And run this. Okay, sorry, it returns a data frame, right? Okay, I'll just have to write like this, and instead of this I'll just display a new data frame. You can see based on this, it takes this value and convert it into MD5. Okay, cool. Now you can see like their blank is printing, right? The column name is blank. We can also specify it like MD5, something like MD5 column. Cool. Just run this and run this, and we can also specify a set of columns, a group of columns like name, comma, age, and so on. MD5 column. Cool. And then what else we have? I guess we have covered so far everything. Like there are a couple of more methods present, functions present, so I will let you know in coming videos. And because the video size is around 35 minutes, so I hope like you have understood this concept, this function, and you can also utilize these methods or functions in your day-to-day work to automate the things, to verify your data and other stuff. And this is the repository, okay, which I am following or referring. Okay, I will give the link in the description also. You can go and check all this stuff. This is a very good library actually, and all these steps are present over here. Okay, and yeah, apart from this, if you are new to my channel, you can subscribe to my channel. Like I have uploaded till 68 videos as of now, and covered almost all the topics of Databricks and PySpark. And I hope also you are liking my content, and if you do like and share. And till then, bye bye, tata, see you.